this chapter I want to show you how to create your station. So let me first run GDS Lab, and you will see that we have a hint where it's saying to get started, either load an existing configuration or open System Builder. We are going to use System Builder. So if I click on this little System Builder tool, we get the very start of the process for adding devices to our system. Now, connected to my system today, I have a GDS RS232 load frame. I have two standard controllers, version 2, which are on USB, and I have a serial pad for the transducers. So let me click on devices, and the first thing I want to find is the load frame. Let me grab the correct load frame from this list. I think near the bottom we have a GDS RS232 load frame. No picture as yet, but it will come. If I click OK, now it's suggesting that we click on the device image to review its settings. Now I know that my load frame is on COM port 6, but we would change this accordingly, and I know that from the handbook for the GDS load frame that the baud rate is 9600, parity is none, data bits 8, stop bits 2, and you set that up appropriately for your load frame. Now we need to select the parameters that this load frame is going to be used with, and it's a velocity controlled load frame, so I select velocity. We can't read, we're not going to set up an acquisition device for velocity, but we can control velocity. So I'm going to switch on control here, and it already populates it. It knows we want to connect to axial velocity, and it's a direct relationship to the load frame. So it guides us nicely through the setup. And you will see on our little object display here, we've got a load frame and we've got an RS232 device connected. Now, if I click this button here, this will show all of the control parameters. Let me just zoom out a little bit so it fits on. So I have now control, where I can enter my values for control to the load frame via the RS232 port. So just as a check, I can click again on the load frame. Yes, I know that I've got my COM port parameters correct. If I want, I could put in, say, 0.1, click go, and I know you can't see this, but my load frame's now going up, and if I click the hand, it's now stopped. So that's a nice sanity check to know that I've got that right. On this load frame, for the test, I know I want to do some load control as well. If I want to do some load control, I need to set up that this load frame has the ability to control load. So if I click on axial load, which is another parameter I want to set up, I'm not going to read it on this load frame, but I'm going to control it. But it's not a direct relationship, because this load frame is velocity controlled only. We cannot directly control load. We can control load, though, cleverly during a test with an indirect relationship via the axial velocity. So during a test, it will set the velocity accordingly to set the particular load. That's now done. I now have axial load set up via the axial velocity. So that was nice and easy. I'm going to set up another device. I want to set up data acquisition device, so I'm going to choose data loggers, and I know I've got connected a GDS 8-channel serial data logger, so I choose that. Again, I'm going to click on this settings unconfirmed is what the orange means. I'm going to click on that, and it's already jumped to the correct parameter settings because I've had this set up before, but I know it's on COM port 3. I know the baud, parity, data bits and stop bits are as it's come up there, but that's a double check. So I click OK. So we've now got that data acquisition device. Now let's set up some parameters to go on it. Now I've got a load cell. This is a typical GDS TAS, triaxial automated system, that we would set up with two controllers, a data logger and a load frame. So if I click on axial load, I want to set that I have a load cell. So it's already populated axial load, and it's going to be on this device, the 8-channel data logger, and I know, because I'm just looking around here, that that load cell is connected to channel 0. That's it. That appears our data logger with channel 0, which is axial load. We also want displacement on that same device, so I'm going to choose that that's on device 8-channel serial logger, and that's on channel 1. You can see that from where I'm sat, and we have our transducer set up. Now I want to put two controllers. Choose from the list of pressure controllers, choose near the bottom of the list, I think, standard DPC V2. That's what I've got connected on the USB at the moment. Go to choose that, and that appears in our list. Click on the orange settings unconfirmed, and kind of cheated, it's already got to that device because I've had it connected before. But if I press select device, you'll see there's an alternative device I could choose. If I hadn't selected it before, there would be no devices already set up, and there would be two devices here. This is actually the back pressure controller that I'm about to set up. So I'm happy that serial number 18637 is for cell pressure, and now I just need to connect that the acquisition for cell pressure is on device standard controller V2. Easy. With this one we also want to control, so I click control right. I also choose that standard controller, and that's on channel pressure. Oh, I forgot to put the channel pressure there. Notice that the channels are, they understand what the channels mean, so you only have to select pressure, or if we were trying to control volume, then volume would appear here. So you'll see our object display picture is building up. We've now got a controller with cell pressure and with cell pressure control and cell pressure acquisition. So I'm now going to add one more device, the last device, pressure controllers, which is another V2 USB controller, which will appear at the bottom of the list as an unconfirmed. Click on the settings, and it's already selected 19630. If I choose select device, there's no other devices to choose. I'm confident that that's the right controller. Now, back pressure. Again, I want to have a reading of back pressure, so I choose USB controller 2. This is the back pressure controller that I've just set, and this is also going to be pressure. For control, I want to control the back pressure. If I'm doing a drained control test, again that's USB 2, and that's also on channel pressure. Now the final parameter that I want to have in my list is back volume. I might not want to control back volume, but I definitely want to read it from the controller. We don't have back volume here in this list. This list nicely shows us the most common parameters at this stage. If I click parameters, we get a whole raft of available parameters, and I can see that back volume is there. I can choose acquisition, choose my device. This is my back pressure controller, and the channel is now volume. We don't want to control it, and there we have it. That is my system. If I now clicked out of the system builder control, we can see our system here, and if I press this read button, first the I is to show all the transducers. This one shows all the control. If we have them both on, we have the transducers and the control. This is a continuous read button. If I press that, it should give me some sense that I'm connected, because I'm reading from the data logger, I'm reading from the cell pressure controller, and I'm reading from the back pressure controller. So I now have a station set up, which I can of course save, and I can save that as my very own station. Let's call it 1, and next time I come in I can load that station and I'm ready to go. Thank you.